It seems Congress can hardly pass legislation without going beyond the powers vested in them by the Constitution. Take, for example, this demand of the legislation. Under minimum issuance standards, in general, to meet the requirements of this section, a state shall require at a minimum presentation and verification of the following information before issuing a driver's license or identification card to a person. Now, nothing in the Constitution of the United States delegates to its government the power to regulate driver's licenses or identification. Now, Congress can determine the rules for identifications that federal agencies are allowed to accept, but they cannot dictate to the states what their IDs must include. While technically the states are only required to meet these standards if they want the federal government to recognize them, like voter registration, it will be difficult for states to create a two-tiered identification system. This is not the only overreach in this section. Proof of a person's Social Security account number or verification that the person is not eligible for a Social Security account number. Tell me, what does participation in the illegal government retirement program have to do with your identification? How does a Social Security number verify who you are, especially since these documents do not include a photo or other information used for identification purposes? Could this be another attempt to make sure everyone participates in this illegal program? Then there are these special requirements, some of which will make things quite difficult for some people. See, under special requirements, we find evidence of lawful status. A state shall require, before issuing a driver's license or identification card to a person, valid documentary evidence that the person is a citizen of the United States, is an alien lawfully admitted for permanent or temporary residence in the United States, and that list goes on. Now, my first thought is, well, this will make things more difficult for sanctuary cities and states, won't it? After all, they won't be able to go to 100% real ID since illegal aliens are not eligible for them. Then I thought, well, what if an illegal alien needs to enter a federal courthouse, possibly to turn themselves in or appear for a hearing? Well, they will be required to have a real ID to enter, so they will need some other form of ID, which they may not possess. So how could they comply with a federal order to appear if courthouse security won't let them in? On the other hand, this would also stop someone from recreating Biden's catch and release program, where his administration flew illegal aliens around the country. I guess it would have to make sure that someone has an acceptable ID to apply for amnesty. We've also got the verification of documents. To meet the requirements of this section, a state shall implement the following procedures. Before issuing a driver's license or identification card to a person, the state shall verify with the issuing agency the issuance, validity, and completeness of each document required to be presented by the person under paragraph 1 or 2. And who verifies that the documents were verified? What if those documents were issued by entities that don't share information? For example, states can accept official foreign passports for identification, but how does the state verify those passports?